Hello. So, Native American creates America's first democracy inspired by the United States. The Native Americans invented a life ultimately connected to earth, sky, water, and all living things. 500 years ago, 100 million people connected by infrastructure and social network populated in the Americas. Chaco was the largest city. It is a very significant place. It was an intersection of modern scholarships and native knowledge for a new vision of America. It was a place where clans come together specifically, scientifically, spiritually, believe, where thousands of people came in to learn about the wisdom. In 1886, they found an amazing discovery. Chocolate. It comes from cacao beans. It only grows in Central America. Chocolate was considered a food for the gods, but they were also used them in ceremonies which were used. In room 28, they also found cylindrical pots and drinking vessels which were made out of chocolate. It showed early evidence of humans. Archaeologists Anne Roosevelt and Chris Paris pans evidence of people. They go to Amazon's rainforest of Brazil. Their destination was a cave in the mountains called the Carne de Pedro Pinhada. In Portuguese, called the Cave of the Painted Black Cord, with paintings, a circle in the picture, sun and moon, created a match with turtle creation spirits. For decades, there was only one way of looking at it. Around 11,000 BC, during the Ice Age, there was a region called Bergmania. According to the article in the Unseen Tears documentary, they talk about the mush hole operated from 1831 to 1970. New York Thomas Indian School functioned from 1855 to 1956 in the Catawba's ceremony. Native American communities continue to impact of schools. Michael Martin, Executive Director, Native American Community Service, talks about the General Pratt, talking about the schools that are constantly built and schools added. We build them, clean them up, and start them on their way to civilization. No one knew the bad and terrible conditions they endured. They talk about the residential boarding schools who no one has heard about because it has never talked about. The boarding schools children are sent there. Basically, they were parents. They were getting sent there because nobody can take care of them. They were treated terribly. The survivors talk about the bad conditions that they were in, and one of the survivors were talking about how they were full of gnats, and the conditions were terrible because they did not speak the American language. Cold showers, they beat them up, threw them in a dark room, tell them that rats would get them. They were treated like animals. They also even got numbered, kind of like an asylum. They were all nicknamed Asylum, which means crazy. So they were thought as crazy. Lori Quigley, an associate dean, states they weren't bad people. They were just there for a various reason, but not because of any delinquency. Also, in the impression of the Indian childhood, the author Zitia uses imagery to portray the cruelties of American culture among Indian individuals. The girl in the story talks about how she wants to explore, but her mother is reluctant, and talks about how she wants to keep her daughter safe, but she lets her daughter go, and the mother knew it was bad conditions, but she had to make the daughter learn her own mistakes, so she just sends them there. But in the end, the daughter gets shipped off to she gets shipped off, and basically all what her mother taught her. She talks about how rough it was and how she's just getting sent to this location of everything that is happening, and so the cycle starts again.